After being promoted to the Championship in the 22-23 season, Ipswich Town have shocked the entire Football League. They currently sit third in the Championship, just 1 point off automatic promotion to the Premier League. Kieran McKenna's side play very attractive football, and personally I would love to see them in the Premier League. However, I don't want to wait till September to see Ipswich in the Prem. So today we are jumping into FC24, taking charge of Ipswich and winning them a Champions League trophy, adding to their 1981 victory of the UEFA Cup. Let's get Ipswich Town rebuilt. So this is the Ipswich Town team I've loaded into, boys, and I have to say it's looking quite good on paper. I'm also a big fan of the 4-2-3-1 formation that Ipswich are currently using, so we're going to be sticking with this formation for the rebuild. And it's clear to see why Ipswich Town are doing so well in real life when we've got players at the club like Axel Twanzebe, a 73 rated 25-year-old centre-back, Connor Chaplin, a 26-year-old 73 rated centre-attacking midfielder who is absolutely tearing it up in the Championship this season, and Leif Davis, a 72 rated 23-year-old left-back who is actually one of the best wing-backs outside of the Premier League. So it's safe to say that this squad is definitely looking good on paper, which is a massive plus for us as we cannot sign any players until January the 1st, as in these rebuilds, the first summer transfer window is always disabled. However, when we do get to January, we do need to do some business, as we definitely need a better goalkeeper than Walton, because at 68 rated and 27-year-old, I do not think he'll be good enough to get us to the Premier League. And despite having some really good players in the set defensive midfield position like Sam Morsey, Massimo Luongo and Lewis Travis, unfortunately Morsey and Luongo are over 30-year-olds, so they will start declining soon, and Lewis Travis is actually on loan to us from Blackburn Rovers, so we definitely need to add a new set of defensive midfielder to the squad in January. However, bringing in a goalkeeper and a CDM in January might be a big ask, as we've only got £7 million in the bank. Now, the tactical vision we're going for in this rebuild is going to be the tiki-taka style of play, because in real life Kieran McKenna has got Ipswich Town playing some beautiful football, and I want to replicate that in FC24. And for the first time in absolutely ages, we've actually got a really good youth academy player who is ready to be promoted to the senior team right now, and his name is Humberto Nunes. He's 16-year-old, 61 rated, can play left winger, centre attacking midfielder, and he has got very good potential. We are going to get him into the first team and get him out on loan this season. So we've analysed the starting 11 and picked a formation. We've gone over the finances and we've chose the tactical vision. There's nothing left to do but simulate forward to January the 1st, and hopefully we can replicate Ipswich's real life form and then get busy with the transfers. So we've arrived at January the 1st, boys, and bring back Kieran McKenna, because we are currently outside of the playoffs by 1 point, in 7th place. Pretty disappointing start to the season, but big spenders Leeds, Southampton and Leicester are all above us. Maybe we just aren't ready to compete with them teams in game just yet, or maybe I'm just not as good as Kieran McKenna and I'm going with the latter. And just to let you know, boys, going forward we are not going to be stopping in January unless there's been some transfer activity. In future seasons we're going straight through to the end of the season. Now, boys, I know I said in this first transfer window I want a new defensive midfielder and a goalkeeper, but I've just seen Kobe Manu and I really want him, boys. He's 18 years old, 71 rated, such good stats, lads, high height rate, 6 foot, and he's only going to cost us 4.2 to 3.35 million, meaning it will be a huge chunk of our budget gone. We are bringing him to Portman Road, and for just £3.3 million, Kobe Manu is a tractor boy. Now, boys, as you can see, we do have a vast amount of players out of contract at the end of the season, and going through them all, boys, I do not think a single one of these players make us a better side. Obviously, Sam Morsey is the big decision that we're making here. I know Ipswich Town fans absolutely love Sam Morsey, but we have to think about EAFC at the minute and winning the Champions League. He's 32-year-old, 74 rated. This is probably his last season at his peak before he starts declining. I just think we're best off getting rid of him now, boys. And realistically, Ipswich fans, who would you rather have at your club? Kobe Manu or Sam Morsey? I think I know the answer. After the signing of Manu, renewing a few contracts and bringing in some really good coaches, we're left with just £2 million. So I'm not really filled with confidence, boys, that we're going to be able to bring in a first choice goalkeeper. So Christian Walton might have to see us through to the end of the season. We've arrived at the end of the transfer window, boys, and Kobe Manu will be our only incoming of this season. However, there's been a lot of outgoings, boys, and I really feel like next summer we've got a chance to put our own spin on this team. The first being Sam Morsey. I do apologise, Ipswich fans, I'm really sorry to let him go. He will join Sheffield United on expiry of his contract in the summer. Janoi Donasian will also join Hull City when his contract expires, and Caden Jackson will also leave the club in the summer, joining Plymouth. Ali El Hamadi will join Espanyol on loan till the end of the season. Kieran Slicker has joined Wigan Athletic on loan till the end of the season. Humberto Nunes, our wonder kid, has joined Pendixpor on loan till the end of the season. Cameron Burgess will join LAFC when his contract expires in the summer, and finally Sonny Aluko will join a Chinese club, Qingdao Hanyu, I think that's how you pronounce it, and he will join them on the expiry of his contract. So we've definitely cut the squad down to size, lads. A lot of deadwood gone. I am obviously sad to see Sam Morsey go, meaning this will be the team that takes us through to the end of the season. We currently sit 9th. Can we sneak into the playoffs? I certainly hope so. Let's simulate forward now to the end of the season and see if we did manage to sneak in there. So we're arrived at the end of season 1, boys, and we secured a 6th place finish in the EFL Championship on 75 points, narrowly beating Preston to a playoff place by just 2 points. And just look at Leeds United, boys. 109 points, 3 losses all season. How are we meant to compete with that? So as you know, boys, finishing 6th means the playoffs. Now, did we manage to win them? There's only one way to find out. Oh my god, lads, we actually won the playoffs. We beat Middlesbrough 1-0 in the final, meaning we, lads, 4-2 over 2 legs against Southampton, and we have actually got Ipswich Town promoted to the Premier League in season 1. Now, can Kieran McKenna do that in real life? And lads, by some miracle, we actually made the FA Cup semi-final, being knocked out by Nottingham Forest 2-1, and they actually went on to win the trophy. Now, this is how the team is looking at the end of season 1, and it is looking really strong, boys. Leif Davis has gone to 77 rated, Twanzebe 76, Chaplin 75, Mainu's grown by 2 to 73 as well. Obviously, we do lose Sam Morsey at the end of the season. Now, going into our first season in the Premier League, we definitely need to add some quality to this squad, and I'm thinking goalkeeper is the primary target we need to improve. We need a new right midfielder to replace Burns as well, and I'm thinking, boys, you know, probably gonna need a CDM to replace Morsey as well, and then we'll probably get £50 million. Can we get 3 players in? Hopefully we can. I do think, boys, we are going to have a real struggle to stay in the Premier League next season, and if we do stay up, it'd be an amazing achievement. In terms of goals, boys, Connor Chaplin was our best player, getting 25 goals and 11 assists in 54 games. Nathan Broadhead had a great season as well, getting 20 and 4, and that was matched by Kiefer Moore. Wes Burns got 17 and 7. Then after that, boys, not many goals from the rest of the team. Now let's get into season 2. We're back in the Premier League with Ipswich Town, and the goal is literally just to keep Ipswich up by any means necessary. We have arrived in season 2, boys, and the board have very kindly given us £63 million to improve our squad, so I definitely think we can get a goalkeeper, right midfielder and a CDM with this money. But we are going to kick off our transfer window, boys, with a very, very exciting signing in the right midfield position, as we have identified Jan Kotor of Manchester City. He's 22-year-old, 79 rated, really decent stats for a young player, and he will add some much needed Brazilian flair to our starting 11, and he's only going to cost us between 24 and 19.4 million, so I think this is an absolute no-brainer. And for £22.2 million, lads, we have brought Jan Kotor to Ipswich Town, and as we know, boys, we are also in the market for a new defensive midfielder, and we have identified a genuine wonder kid. Romeo Lavia of Chelsea, 76 rated, 20-year-old, really impressive stats, and the best part, boys, is only going to cost us between 17.2 and 13.8 million pounds, meaning we can definitely bring him to Ipswich, and I think this is an absolute no-brainer once again. And for 16.4 million pounds, Romeo Lavia is now an Ipswich Town player, and now this does leave us with 21 million pounds to bring in a goalkeeper, and our search for a goalkeeper brings us to a player who is very close to my heart. James Trafford spent 18 months on loan at Bolton, and he absolutely ripped it up for us in League One. However, after signing for Burnley, he's really struggled in the Premier League, and I want to give him a lifeline here at Ipswich Town. As in-game, he's 74 rated, 21-year-old, really decent stats for a goalkeeper, and he's only going to cost us between 10.6 and 8.5 million pounds. I'm going to bring him to Ipswich, give him a lifeline, and let's see if we can revitalise Trafford's career at Portman Road. And for just 9.5 million pounds, James Trafford is now a tractor boy. And after the signing of Trafford, we are still left with 10 million pounds if we want to make any improvements to the team, but I'm pretty happy with how the team's looking right now. So after the signings of Trafford, Lavia and Kotor, this is how the team is looking going into season 2 as Ipswich Town boss. Do you think the team looks pretty good on paper? However, is it a Premier League standard team? I don't actually think so. We definitely have some really high potential young players at the club who we will be trying to develop this season. However, relegation is definitely a distinctive possibility with this team. I do think, lads, we could probably bring in the new striker with the 10 million we have available. So before the window closes, we will identify any potential striker targets, and hopefully we've got enough to bring in a wonder kid up front. So in life, boys, 3 things are certain. Water is wet, grass is green, and we bring in a player on loan with an optional future fee. We are bringing in David Datro Fofana from Chelsea. He's 21-year-old, 74 rated. We are going to pay 60% of his wages, and then at the end of the season, we'll have the option to buy him for just 6.5 million pounds. This is an absolute no-brainer, boys. He's better than George Hurst. He's 21. He has got great potential. Let's get him came to Ipswich Town. So 4 really strong incomings in this transfer window, lads, but there has been a plethora of outgoings, and I'm going to run you through them right now. Panshoot Kamara joined Watford for 930 grand. Dominic Ball joined LAFC for 760 grand. George Edmondson left the club for 1.15 million to Cremonese. We sold Jack Taylor to Trabzonspor for 1.8 million. We sold Massimo Luongo to Southampton for 960 grand. We sold Freddie Ladapo to Bristol City for 880 grand. Marcus Harness joined Blackburn Rovers for 880 grand. Christian Walton joined Rangers for 1.35 million. And Cameron Humphreys will spend the season on loan at Strasbourg. Now, once again, boys, I will say I really do apologise if I've sold one of your favourite players. However, the players we've let go are never ever going to cut it out in the Premier League. So that is our transfer window done. We are now officially simulating forward to the end of the season, and hopefully Ipswich Town have stayed in the Premier League. We arrived at the end of season 2, boys, and we have managed to stay in the Premier League, finishing in 15th place on 42 points, a whopping 8 points clear of 18th place Bournemouth, meaning in season 3 we are playing Premier League football once again. And lads, we got all the way to the FA Cup semi-finals where we were knocked out by Arsenal 4-1. We were so close to a Wembley final. However, we could not replicate this form in the Carabao Cup as Burnley knocked us out in the 3rd round. So this is how the team is looking at the end of season 2, and I have to say, boys, Couto has absolutely blown me away. He's now 83 rated and easily the best player at the club. Now, unfortunately, boys, no other player at the club is over 80 rated, but Fofana, Manu and Lavia are all knocking on the door. Now, going into season 3, this is where difficult decisions have to be made. I know players like Wolfenden, Davis and Clark are big fan favourites at Portman Road. However, they are just not growing at a very good rate. I know Davis and Clark have now reached their max potential, and it's going to be 120 plus weeks till they both grow again. So I think going into season 3, we're going to have to increase the overall rating of our back line and bring in some really good young defenders. Now, that does not mean I'll be selling fan favourites like Davis, Wolfenden and Clark. We will try to get them to accept rotation-based contracts, and we will keep them at the club as long as they don't start handing in transfer requests, because I don't want my team's morale to be devastated. Now, in terms of stats, boys, David Dacho Fofana was our best player this season, getting 17 goals and 5 assists, and he grew by 5 overalls as well. We are definitely paying the 6.5 million to make him a permanent signing. Now, let's get into season 3 and try and build on a 15th place finish and maybe push on mid-table. So we've arrived in season 3, boys, and we have 48 million pounds to improve our squad, and the first order of business is to make David Dacho Fofana's loan deal a permanent one. And Fofana joins the club permanently for just 6.5 million pounds. What a deal that is for us. And now we're left with 39 million pounds to improve our back line. And we also have some outgoings to bring you up to date with, lads, that was agreed in the previous season. Omari Hutchinson will spend the season on loan at Leicester City. Humberto Nunes will spend the season on loan at Nottingham Forest. And Idris El Mazouni has left the club as he's joined Basel on a pre-contract agreement. But as we know, boys, our primary targets in this transfer window are defenders, and we have found an absolute bargain here, boys. Cristian Mosquera of Valencia CF, 77 rated, 21-year-old, really decent start, 6'2", and because his contract is expiring at the end of the season, we can get him for between 10.8 and 13.5 million, which is an absolute steal, and we are definitely bringing him to Portman Road. And for just 11.7 million pounds, we have brought Mosquera to Ipswich Town. And after the signing of Mosquera, we're still left with 26 million pounds to improve our squad, and we're still sticking to the same target, more defenders. And we have also identified a right back to bring to the football club, and it is Julian Araujo of Barcelona. He's 79 rated, 23-year-old, really well-rounded stats, high work rates, and he will only cost us between 19.5 and 15.6 million pounds, but we've got to rush to get the deal done as Napoli are also in for him. And we have brought Julian Araujo to Portman Road for just 15 million pounds, which is an absolute steal. So after the signings of Mosquera and Araujo, and also renewing quite a few contracts, we're left with just 4 million pounds, so our summer transfer window could be finished. So we've arrived at the end of the transfer window, boys, and there have been some outgoings in this window. Corey Nadaba will join FC Braga on loan till the end of the season. We sold George Hurst to Sheffield United for 3.35 million. We've also loaned out a 6'7" youth academy graduate in Raul Fernandez, and he will join FC Dynamo till the end of the season. So that's our transfer window finished, and this will be the Ipswich Town team to take us through to the end of the season. It's nice to see players like Fofana, Araujo and Lavia all hit 80 rated. The team looks much better again this season, boys, but we probably are going to be in a relegation battle once again. So let's now simulate forward to the end of the season and see how Ipswich Town got on in their second season back in the Premier League. So we've reached the end of season 3, boys, and we have had an absolutely outstanding season, finishing in 9th position, achieving a top half finish with Ipswich Town. In the FA Cup, boys, we were knocked out in the 5th round by Middlesbrough 2-1. That is not the best. And in the Carabao Cup, we were knocked out once again in the 3rd round by West Ham 3-2. So this is how the Ipswich Town team is looking at the end of season 3, boys, and it's looking really strong on paper. paper. We've got some amazing growth taking place in the likes of Koto, Lavia, Manu, and Arojo. I think going into season 4 though, boys, we do definitely need to bring in a better left midfielder than Broadhead. And I think as well, Connor Chaplin's been a great servant to Ipswich Town, but we're going to have to bring in a better centre attacking midfielder if we want to get into Europe. And in terms of stats, lads, once again, David Datro Fofana was our best player, getting 17 goals and 3 assists, closely followed by the two men we actually want to replace, Nathan Broadhead and Connor Chaplin, who got 14 and 11 respectively. So let's now get into season 4, boys, and see if we can try and get this Ipswich team into at least the Conference League. So we've arrived in season 4, boys, and we have got a whopping £75 million in the bank. So as we know, boys, we are in the market for a centre attacking midfielder and a left winger, and we have identified a cracking left winger, Anthony Gordon of Newcastle United. He's 25-year-old, 84 rated, unbelievable stats, but he is going to cost us a pretty penny, between 42.4 and 53 million pounds. However, I want to bring him to Portman Road, and for 46 million pounds we have brought Anthony Gordon to Ipswich Town, and we are left with just 23 million pounds after the signing of Gordon. So we may have to cash in on a few players before we go back in for a centre attacking midfielder. So in order to fund a new centre attacking midfielder signing, lads, we have had to sell a few players, and I'll run you through it right now. Academy graduate Joel Pope has joined Wolfsburg for £2 million. Corey Ndaba has left the club to Bristol City for £1.2 million. Betty Yenge has joined Antalyaspor for 760 grand. Academy graduate Kaya Noski has joined Sheffield Wednesday for 850 grand. Another Academy graduate, Enrique Peralta, has joined Odense BK for 1.4 million. We did cash in on Nathan Broadhead, who's joined Aston Villa for 14.6 million. And we've also sold Academy graduate Jensen Shepherd to Motherwell for 330 grand, which means we now have 47 million pounds to bring in a centre attacking midfielder. And the centre attacking midfielder we want to bring to Portman Road is Christian Volpato of Barcelona. He's 78 rated, 22-year-old, really decent stats, and he's going to cost us between 33 and 26 million pounds, meaning we can definitely make the deal happen. And for 29.2 million pounds we have brought Christian Volpato to Ipswich Town. And you know what, boys, we do actually still have 14 million pounds in the bank. And I'm thinking, looking at that team, Axel Twanzebe is 79 rated and 28-year-old. He's not going to grow much more, and I'm thinking I might bring in a younger, better centre-back who will grow much higher. So therefore, we're going to be listing Twanzebe for sale. Hopefully we can sell him and then bring in a better, younger centre-back. And lads, we have actually managed to sell Twanzebe to Newcastle for £17.5 million, meaning we've now got 35 million in the bank to bring in a centre-back. And the centre-back we have identified to bring to Portman Road is Lenny Yoro of Crystal Palace. 20-year-old, 80 rated, unbelievable stats. This guy's potential is through the roof, and because he has literally just signed for Palace, he's going to cost us between 35 and 28 million pounds, meaning it's going to use all of our budget, but hopefully we can agree a deal and bring him to Portman Road. And we have completed the signing of Lenny Yoro for 31 million pounds. And after the signing of Yoro, we're officially left with zilch, nada, nothing in the bank, £0, and that is our transfer window definitely finished, meaning this will be the Ipswich Town team to take us into season 4, and it is looking absolutely amazing on paper. Every single player besides Volpato is over 80 rated, and I have no doubts that Volpato will be 80 rated at the end of the season, and I genuinely think this team's got an outside chance of finishing in Europe this year. So that's our transfer window officially done, boys. We're now simulating forward to the end of the season, and hopefully we've managed to sneak in the European places with Ipswich Town. So we've arrived at the end of season 4, boys, and we have finished 3rd in the Premier League on 75 points. We're only 5 points off tabletop in Manchester City, and this means, boys, that Ipswich Town are playing Champions League football in season 5. We had another brilliant run in the FA Cup, boys, but unfortunately we were knocked out by Liverpool in the semi-finals, not quite making the final again. And the Carabao Cup, we went one better than last season, reaching round 4, but Newcastle United knocked us out. So this is the Ipswich Town team that has got us into the Champions League, boys, and I have to say it's looking absolutely amazing on paper. Romeo Lavia has now reached 87 rated, and he's well on track to become our first 90 rated player. Going into season 5 though, boys, I do think we need to add a little bit of quality to get us Champions League ready, and that is in the form of a new goalkeeper to replace James Trafford and a new striker to replace Fofana. Main reasons being, boys, they've just completely stopped growing, and I don't think having an 82 rated goalkeeper in the Champions League is going to be very beneficial, especially not when we're going to have a huge transfer budget. Oh well, lads, oh well. Fofana scored 36 goals in all competitions. Maybe we won't be getting rid of Fofana just yet. That is absolutely insane. I just don't understand why the guy just will not grow. So let's get into season 5, boys, and Ipswich Town's first season back in a European competition for over 40 years, and let's see how far into the competition we can get. So we've arrived arrived in season 5, boys, and we have got £163 million to bring in a striker and a goalkeeper. And I think it's safe to say that this money is going to change the dynamics of our squad completely. So despite Fofana having such a good season last year, I don't think that man can cut it in the Champions League. He's not growing at all, boys. I don't think he's the man to take us to a Champions League final. However, I do feel like Luis Openda is of Bayer Leverkusen. 86 rated, 27-year-old, unbelievable stats, boys, but he is going to cost us a whopping 76 to 95 million pounds. I'm going to try and get a good deal out of this, lads, and let's try and get Openda to Portman Road. And lads, we have brought Luis Openda to Portman Road for 88 million pounds. Such a big transfer fee. I just hope Openda can deliver for us now on the pitch. And in this transfer window, boys, we are also looking for a new goalkeeper, and we are going to go for the biggest wonder kid goalkeeper in the game, Guilherme Rastes, who's currently earning his trade in Spain at Villarreal. He's 22-year-old, 84 rated, unbelievable stats, boys. He's going to cost us between 55 and 44 million pounds, meaning we can afford the deal, and let's bring this wonder kid to Portman Road. And for 54.5 million pounds, we have brought Rastes to Portman Road. And with the signings of Rastes and Openda, our squad is looking Champions League ready. What a team we have built here at Ipswich Town. And boys, I really did want to keep Fofana and Trafford at the club, but they just would not accept contracts that didn't make them crucial first team players, meaning they would have decimated the squad's morale, so we've had to sell them both. James Trafford has joined UD Almira for 33.2 million, and Fofana has joined Arsenal for 60.8 million. Now, this does actually mean, boys, that we've got 85 million pounds in the bank. However, we're not all about spending money on this channel. I really like the look of this team. It's very, very youthful. There's some really high potential players in there. I'm going to give this team the rest of this season to impress me, grow, get as high rated as possible, and the players who get left behind by the rest in the next summer transfer window will be sold and replaced. And next summer we should have a monstrous transfer budget if we're saving 85 million to one side. So our first Champions League group of the rebuild is in, boys, and it's not actually too bad. We've got Real Madrid, PSV and Young Boys. I do think we've got more than enough to get through that group, boys. The obvious difficult game being Real Madrid, but we should have well too much of PSV and Young Boys. Let's now simulate forward straight through to the end of the season and see how we got on in the Premier League and the Champions League. So we're right at the end of the season, boys, and we have secured a 3rd place finish in the Premier League, meaning we are guaranteed Champions League football next season. We finished 10 points behind Manchester City, who went on to win the league, but the progression we are making season on season is really, really impressive. In the FA Cup, boys, we only managed to make it to the 4th round as we were beaten 2-1 by Leicester City. That is really, really poor. And in the Carabao Cup, we made the quarterfinals where Arsenal beat us on penalties. But lads, despite not winning the Premier League, not winning the FA Cup, not winning the Carabao Cup, we have somehow ended up in the Champions League final, and I'm just as confused as you, men. And I just want to make a very quick promise. I do not have the EA Live editor or any mods installed. I am genuinely just as surprised as you to see Ipswich in a Champions League final. So we got through our group, finishing top of the group. Despite conceding more goals than we scored, we come top of the group. And when we got to the round of 16, we beat Salzburg 7-4 over 2 legs. And then we beat PSG 3-2 in the quarters, and then despite losing the home leg, we beat Juventus 2-1 over 2 legs to set up a final with Bayern Munich. So this is the team that has got us to a Champions League final, and I have to say, boys, looking at it on paper, I'm not as surprised anymore. It is looking absolutely world class on paper, with players like Lavia, Openda and Couto being our best players. Anthony Gordon's had a really good season, getting to 86 as well. The morale is pretty poor for a team that has just got to a Champions League final though, so that's maybe a bit of a bug. But the team's looking really, really strong, boys, and I'm hoping we've got enough firepower to get the job done against Munich. So in terms of stats, boys, Luis Openda was our best player, getting 39 goals and 11 assists. That is a great first season, and I'm glad we replaced Fofana with this guy. So now all that's left to do, boys, is take on Bayern Munich in the Champions League final at the San Siro. So here we go, boys. It's Bayern Munich versus Ipswich Town. We are trying to win Ipswich their first European trophy since 1981. It's a bit of a shock that we're in the final, boys. You know, I was expecting maybe getting to the quarters this year, but we've got to the final, and now we've got a job to do against Germany's best side. And it's Anthony Gordon with a good little reverse ball to Volpato. Openda could be in. Oh, it's lovely. Openda.
Nope.
Oh, that's a good save. We got, oh, rebound, chip back in. Openda. Oh my God, what a block. Make the run, that's it. In the middle. Volpato's in. Oh, what a poor ball behind him. But Leaf Davis. He's been here since day one. Oh, what a
a goal. Oh my God. Leif Davis, boys, who's been here since the championship with one of the best finishes I've ever seen from a defender. What a ball by Gordon. Great touch by Davis. And what a finish. That is right into the side netting from Leif Davis. And I don't know if you can tell, boys, but I am really, really ill at the moment. I've got a sore throat, a cough, a bad chest. And it is really killing me talking, I'm not going to lie. We're going to have to get through it, get this Champions League one. It's Restes out to Davis, and he gives it away. That ain't good. That ain't good. Bayern could be straight back on level terms here. What a tackle by Davis. What? Are you mad? He's given a penalty for that. That is never a penalty in a million years. And booked him. This game, man. This game, man. Look at this for a tackle. What a tackle, lad. Oh. How is that a pen? Right, Restes, you've got to save it, lads. You've got to save it. Oh, get in there! Get in there! Restes saves it. That is justice, boys. That is justice, let me tell you that. Can't lie, lads, we're just on the stroke of half-time, and this has been a half devoid of any real chances, if I'm honest. Other than the penalty and the goal, it's been very, very cagey in the centre of the park. And that's going to be half-time, boys. Not many chances, like I've just said, but we do take a 1-goal lead into the break, and hopefully we can hold on in the second half and get the job done. Christ. I've got the referee against me. My own body against me. Come on, we can do it, boys. We just need to see this half out. And what a tackle by Mosquera. What a start to the half that is. They've got men forward here, Bayern. We can hit them on counter. Gordon. Backstick. What a ball. Oh, what an interception. Lads, I can't lie. He'd give a goal kick. This ref, man. This ref is so anti-Ipswich. Wow. I have to say, boys, we're getting close to the 80th minute now, and there's been such a lack of chances in this game. Lavia. Nice by Lavia. Have a dig. Oh, that's an easy save for the keeper. 83 on the clock though, boys. We're getting really close now to winning this Champions League final. Literally 5 minutes left. Oh my God, they've got a free kick, lads. There's literally 20 seconds of the game left. Bayern Munich have got a free kick. They've smacked it long. And Lavia can win it. And Koto can win it. And we've done it, boys. We've beaten Bayern Munich 1-0 to win the Champions League with Ipswich Town. 43 years on from the cup glory in the UEFA Cup. Ipswich Town are the champions of Europe. And here we go, boys. Mosquera lifts the trophy for Ipswich Town. And Ipswich Town are the champions of Europe, and that is another rebuild successfully boxed off. So thank you so much for watching the videos, boys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do enjoy the content, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it does really, really help me out. We are on the journey now to 3,000 subscribers, and I will see you next week for another rebuild. Cheers.